Well, it looks like we have our drip marketing for version 2.6, I think. I don't even know what version we're on, I'm not gonna lie. But we are looking at Sunday being our next character, and this is going to be a very interesting one for the fact that we have Imaginary and Harmony, which is a really crazy thing. Not only because, as we may know, Harmony characters usually are the must-haves of the game, especially when they start getting drip marketed, when they start coming into the game. Usually these guys are the strongest of the strongest when it comes to value over a lot of the other characters. We've had something like Robin for follow-up, something like REHOO for break, and all these other teammates. There's a lot of really cool stuff that we can see from these Harmony characters, and probably different archetypes that we may see as well. But with today looking at Sunday, there is a couple things we do want to look at in regards to how he is as a unit, with him being Harmony, with him being Imaginary, and honestly, with that pairing by itself, I have a very big suspicion that he might be for a certain team. Before we get into all that, make sure you like, comment, sub, all the different types of stuff, and let me know how excited you are for Sunday, because I know this was a very unexpected pick for a lot of people, and especially seeing him come back into the game, seeing him come back into the story is going to be a really cool thing to see, especially where we left off beforehand in Panacani. But going ahead and looking at what he is, Imaginary Harmony is going to be quite a very interesting pairing between the two, because guess who else is Imaginary Harmony? Harmony MC. And this is actually really exciting, because now that we are looking at what Harmony characters do we need, we're either looking for a character that is going to bump up the hyper carry teams right now. There's not a lot of characters at the current moment who are basically able to sustain using the hyper carry teams, just because for the most part, Facial, Acheron, all these other teams in regards to follow-up, in regards to break, when it comes to Boo Hill and Firefly, they're not going to hold a candle to a lot of these hyper carry teams, or the hyper carry teams are going to hold a candle to those teams. And it is a little bit hard for these guys to compete, especially with the basically not so worth buffs that we're seeing right now for this team. Not only that, the archetype that also needs help as well is going to be Dots as well, just because they haven't seen any support in such a long time that their team is also losing power in value. So a lot of people are ditching not only hyper carry, but also in the other Dot units as well. So between that, there's hyper carry, there's Dot, but realistically what I want to hone in on is Harmony MC and the break team, because for the most part we basically have a full-on break team that's premium. Besides one unit, we have Firefly or Boo Hill, who are premium DPSs for the break team. We have someone like REHOO, who is our premium sustain in terms of keeping the enemies delayed, giving us that extra damage. A lot of really cool stuff that comes with REHOO. We have Linksha, who is our primary sustain, or our premium sustain, which helps us with not only the overkill healing, with the super break damage, with the toughness reduction, all that different type of stuff. There's a lot of really good stuff that comes with Linksha. But overall, Harmony Trailblazer has not been replaced yet, and Harmony Trailblazer is still a free option for this team. Now, he is the only character that realistically needs to be replaced to have the full-on premium break team. Is it needed for the most part? Not 100% realistically. Looking at Harmony MC and what he's able to do versus what Sunday may do if he is the break support, which we don't know. He might be doing something else in regards to the summon meta that we are seeing playing our ornaments for, or he might be doing something for hyper carry or Dot. We have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. But if he were to be somewhat of a break support, or this goes to any character that comes out in the future, if they were to replace Harmony MC, the problem with replacing Harmony MC is that Harmony MC is already really good in regards to what he's able to do. He has self-fulfilling energy to the point where he's able to easily get his ultimate back 100% of the time. He has a lot of weakness break efficiency, or a lot of toughness damage within his skill, which helps out a lot in breaking the enemies, which a lot of the time are usually imaginary based, just because of the meta that we're in. That's usually the weakness that is on top of them. There's just a lot of different things that come from Harmony MC that make him such a great super breaks support, where we're allowed to easily have it up 100% of the time. He has a lot of good damage by himself. He's overall just a really good free option, and an option that makes it so that you don't really have to summon on whoever is the premium one, unless they give out some substantial buffs to the point where, yeah, it eclipses Harmony MC. For the most part, if they were to replace him, it is going to be hard to justify going against a brand new character who is going to be worth a bunch of your stellar jades versus the free character that does the job very well and is able to do the job at their best to be able to provide a lot to the break team. So realistically, if they wanted to make sure that we spend our jades before the next patch, I do think that they should hold off on the Super Break support character. It seems very likely that this might be what Sunday's supposed to be for, but realistically, if they want to replace Harmony MC, they gotta overload that man like crazy. Other than that, like I said, the other two supports in the game right now that would be needed to be able to help out certain archetypes at the current moment would be something like Dot and something like Hyper Carry. So they would have to do something crazy in regards to helping out a lot of these Hyper Carry characters and allowing them to get a substantial amount of buffs, help them out in some way, shape, or form to give them the damage they need to compete with all these other characters. Because right now, realistically, looking at characters like Fei Xiao, looking at characters like Acheron, yeah, this is going to be hard to compete against, especially when you have a team that's funneling in your damage and also doing damage at the same time. While someone like Hyper Carry characters, these are the only characters doing the damage. Yes, they do get a fat ton of buffs from the other teammates, but realistically, it's still not enough to be able to compete with some of the giants of today. And of course, without Hyper Carry, we still have to look at Dot. Dot also hasn't had a lot of shine just because they haven't had any type of support for their archetype, which I know a lot of people, and I mean a lot, including me, really miss playing Dot. I don't know, it's just a really fun team, but for the most part just doesn't compete right now in the meta in regards to, like I said, the big boys like Acheron and like Fei Xiao and many of these other characters that associate with something like Robin and also associate with something like Ruan Mei. There's just a lot of really great characters right now that have been supported, a lot of different archetypes right now that are being supported that push us to use them over everything else, which is going to be a little bit of a sad moment for a lot of these pre-existing archetypes that were super fun to play with. So realistically, if Sunday wants to put in a lot of impact, it would have to be something in the Hyper Carry domain or something in the Dot domain to be able to perform a really big thing for the game for the most part. They wanted to go the premium break route and finish off the break team before we head into the next area or the next region. Then Harmony MC replacement would most likely be the case. But again, I don't know if this is 100% the best way possible to do this, just because realistically, he is a really great character by himself. He doesn't really need to be replaced. I would like him to be replaced, don't get me wrong. I would love to have an even better break team, but realistically, Harmony Trailblazer does do a lot already for the team. So they would have to super beef up something like Sunday to be able to allow us to have some reasoning to be able to replace Harmony MC. Other than that, regards to all the Harmony characters in the game right now, these characters usually are all of what you would want. We have crazy characters like having Ruan Mei, having someone like Robin. These two have been absolutely insane. And realistically, if with our brand newest character, which is Robin, and it's any way, shape, or form similar to what Sunday is going to be able to provide, yeah, we're going to see another top tier support coming into the meta very, very soon. But we have characters like Ruan Mei, characters like Robin. Sparkle hasn't seen a lot of play, but she is really great in what she does. Tingyun is still the GOAT of all time. Bronya only gets used from time to time. Hanya is the budget. Sparkle, Asta is still there, and then Yukong, this is for the selling mains out there. But realistically, you know the pattern. Every single time there's a Harmony character coming out, it's a really big point in the meta or a really big shift in what's to come in the archetypes coming or pre-existing support for the archetype that haven't gotten it. Same thing with follow-up, how they weren't as crazy, but now with something like Robin, with something like having Fei Xiao, they've been able to carry themselves to being one of the best teams in the game for sure. Same thing goes for something like Sparkle being able to help out Hyper Carry, Ruan Mei being able to help out Dot, and also looking at Break now that we have our actual team, and of course Tingyun being there to be the best unit of all time to be able to help out any team that possibly needs it, that does use energy, because we do have characters that don't use it. So other than that, that's pretty much it going to be for this video. Sunday has a lot that he's able to probably do for the meta and also buffing out existing archetypes or maybe a brand new one. We'll never know until we wait and see. We do have the stream coming up very soon, which I'm very excited for, and we also have our next dream marketed character possibly today, so expect another video tomorrow talking about what they could be doing and how excited I am for it. So other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all in the next one, and peace.